That's the wrong one. Oh no. There we go. Good evening, good morning, wherever you're from. This is Dukes on Twitch. Back with Green White Depths. So, Once Upon a Time has been reprinted, which definitely seems like a really cool card to try out. Especially in a deck that revolves around lands and creatures. So for those of you who haven't seen it, Once Upon a Time is an instant, costs 1 and a green. If this spell is the first spell you've cast this game, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, you may reveal a creature or land card from among them, and put them in your hand, and then put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. So this looks pretty fun to play with, especially with Dark Depths in the deck, Elvish Reclaimer, another Reliquary, a lot of really good targets, and a lot of one-off spells that in the mid to late game can really help out. So finding something like a Karakas or a Maze of Ith against something like the Mirror or against like a Delver deck can be really nice. So really keen to try it out. I wasn't too sure what to cut for Once Upon a Time. I really wanted to see it as a 4-of, especially when I'm testing it. I want to make sure that I'm actually drawing it, so What I cut was an Elvish Reclaimer, a crop rotation, one Savannah, and I believe I actually played a Scrib Ranger in the main deck as well. I'm definitely a big Maverick fan, of course. I'm a fan of the Green Sun Zenith, but you know, Maverick is a really fun deck, and I really like Sylvan, Scrib Ranger, especially in this deck where you have Elvish Reclaimer, Giver of Runes, another Reliquary, a lot more creatures that actually untap, and allowing them to actually untap and use their ability again is really, really powerful. So I did cut the Scrib Ranger for the 4th Once Upon a Time. I was going to try out 3, but I thought for testing purposes it's best to have as many in the deck as possible, so playing the full play set. But for those of you unaware of the Green-White Depths deck, it is probably the newest variant of Depths that really came to fruition once the printing of Elvish Reclaimer was hit, and probably to a smaller extent Giver of Runes. So Giver, of course, better than Mum or Mother of Runes, because it can give protection from things like Karakas, Maze of Ith. It's also a 1/2, so it lives through a lot of the neg 1 hate we're seeing right now in regards to Ren or you know, Plague Engineer, 2 really big cards of the format. But I think as well, as time has gone on since the printing of Plague Engineer, we're actually seeing less, because a lot of the decks that it does kill, a lot of those players have either adapted or moved to separate decks. So, you know, I don't think it's a wrong decision to play something like Mother of Runes right now, but I think especially in this deck, Giver's just so much better. So really enjoying her. I cut it down to a 3-of so I could bring in Sylvan Safekeeper. I do like a Mother effect that is green sunnable, and the ability to sack a land is really nice. Especially against something like Storm, we actually have the ability to play our creatures with Savannah and then sack them, so our opponent can't cast something like a Massacre for free because we don't have a Plains anymore. There's also some cool things we can do with its ability, with another Reliquary and Ramunap being able to actually get back lands if we want them. The Rishadan Port isn't something that I really think is stock, but I really like it over the second Wasteland. Good evening, Echo. Hope you're doing well. So Rishadan Port I really like, especially in this deck where you kind of want to be making your land drops. You don't really want to be throwing away a Wasteland, especially in a current meta where a lot of the mana bases aren't really put back by Wasteland, but Port does do a bit. So Port, you know, they can't get back a land from the graveyard with Loam or Ren off a Port, because of course it's just a tapped land on the field. We're able to do things like take Blue-White Stoneblade or Miracles off you know, a white source being a Plains, which is really nice. It's traditionally a deck that you can't really Wasteland out, but Port's really nice there. And even in the mirrors, it's really nice to have the Port to kind of interact with their Thespian stages, where a Wasteland might just sort of fizzle if they target something like a basic with their own stage. Always felt Wasteland in this deck was for utility, not aggression, i.e. kill Karakas or Depths. Yeah, 100%. I can definitely very much understand that. But it is really nice to have the one-off Wasteland. I was thinking about Ghost Quarter for a little bit, especially with the Needle in the sideboard. Against the Wasteland deck, you could bring in the Needle, name Wasteland, and then still have your Ghost Quarter with Ramunap, which is really nice. But I think Wasteland is just so good at what it does that not really something we can cut. The 2 Tomiks, I think, are pretty stock. Tomik's a great way to just keep your mana base quite protected. It's a 2/3 flyer that's also legendary, so we can save it with our own Karakas, which is really nice. Sometimes the double white is quite hard to get online, but a lot of the time the Mox Diamonds just help us get there. The 4 Knights, the 4 Green Suns, and the 4 Once Upon a Time are really just there for consistency purposes and to get it all there. Dicebox. Good evening, Rob. Hope you're well. And then just a Night of Autumn, Gaddock Teeg, Scavenging Ooze, Ramunap, kind of silver bullet package for this Green Suns package. So Night of Autumn, of course, great. Indifferent to Qasali Pride Mage, as Qasali allows us to actually interact on our opponent's turn. But I think Knight does a lot of the good stuff that we're wanting to do anyway. Migalino, welcome. We're doing pretty well. Pretty keen to get this this league going because this deck looks really fun to play. We do of course have a few leagues with it. You can find them on my YouTube channel, YouTube/C/Dukes on Twitch. To the sideboard we have just 3 parts, mainly for the aggressive decks. Things like Delver. Not playing Swords to Plowshares because I don't really want to give my opponent the option or put them in the situation when they could be above 20 life. I want to make sure that once my Dark Depths is on the field, we're actually getting through for a lethal attack the following turn. Needs more Questing Beast. Questing Beast has been a savior in Maverick. I was thinking of putting it in here in the 75 somewhere, but I just couldn't find a slot for it, sadly. We then have Graveyard Interaction in Surgical and Faerie Macabre. Really like the breakup. Faerie Macabre as well, something we can find with Once Upon a Time if we really need it, which is nice. The Sylvan Library is kind of the flex slot of the sideboard. I just really enjoy one, especially against things like Miracles, where we can be a little bit edgy. We don't have the hand disruption of the Black Splash to kind of get us through things like Swords to Plowshares and Terminus and Jace. And then Veil of Summers for combo, sometimes for the mid-range decks if they're running things like Hinder Turak. Thalia's for the Storm matchup mainly. They could come in against Miracles and a few other things. I do like Deafening Silence because Thalia is a little bit easier to interact with for those decks. Deafening Silence is not something that really hurts this deck either. I think we're definitely a deck that's happy to kind of cast one spell a turn and then use those spells to allow us to get to multiple lands each turn. Deafening really nice as well because it is 1-drop, of course. We don't need to rely on a Mox Diamond start to get Thalia down on turn 1. We can actually just put something like Deafening Silence on the board on turn 1. Collector Ouphe, just an all-round good guy. We don't run anything that gets hit by other than Mox Diamond, so really happy for Collector Ouphe for those Bomberman or Khan or sort of Stoneforge Mystic matchups. And then there's Rec Sage. Rec Sage Advokist because of Blood Moon is the main reason. I could definitely see these 2 cards being too Force of Vigor, but I probably rather not 2-for-1 myself, even though I assume Force of Vigor when you are using a Force of Vigor and hitting 2 targets, you of course are 2-for-2ing yourself. So it's not too bad. I am still on the fence about these 2, and maybe if even the Sylvan Library should just be Force of Vigors. So Collector Ouphe and then Force. But I kind of like these, especially with the tick up in Oko being played. Even though it's a very slight reason to bring in Collector Ouphe, turning off those food tokens is quite nice, so they can't kind of take a hit with Dark Depths and then just make it into a 3/3. But that is pretty much the deck. In the main deck, we of course have these Silver Bullets. I like the 2 Steppes. I've seen this being played. The second one is something that a lot of people wouldn't really expect. So once they've seen the first one be pitched to a Mox Diamond or already come down, they're going to probably take off their foot off the pedal a little bit and kind of think that there isn't a second Steppe in the deck. Maze of Ith, great for being able to attack with like another Reliquary, and then at the end of our combat step, we can untap it because it's still declared an attacking threat. We can then use it in the same turn. Bojuka Bog, just turn 1 interaction with crop rotation against some of the graveyard decks of the format. Ancient Tomb, really nice because A, it allows us to use Elvish Reclaimer with 1 land, and B, if we have down Dark Depths and Thespian Stage and a land, if we can get it down. Sorry, if there's 3 lands in play, a Thespian Stage, a Dark Depths, and a green source, we can of course crop rotation green source, get 2 mana with Ancient Tomb off 1 land, and then activate Thespian Stage and create 20/20. I really like Night of Autumn, but I wanted to play a second version of it in Reclamation Sage in the board, pretty much as just respect to Blood Moon. It's a little bit harder to get the green and white online, as opposed to just the single green, which of course we can get with Mox Diamond and the 2 forests. But we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely very open to changing probably these 2 here to something like just 2 Force of Vigors, because that seems pretty good in this deck. The only thing it does not do is play through Gaddock Teeg, which actually turns off Force of Vigor. So that's pretty much the deck tech. Let's get straight into this league. Of course, if you are after any of these cards, you can get them through Card Hoarder, who is a sponsor of the channel. You can actually support the channel by using my referral code down below. Force of Vigor gets wrecked by Mycosin's Lattice. It does, that is very true. Novitez, you are 100% correct there. Hopefully trying to kill Arcan opponents before they get a Sin's Lattice on the field, or at least have something like a big knight on the field before their Mycosin's Lattice, so they don't feel too pushed to go and get the synth lock. Of course, as well, if you live in Australia and you're after singles, maybe for this deck, you can check out mtgmate.com.au. This channel is sponsored by MTGmate, which is very cool. You can use the code DOOGS at checkout to get 5% off singles. I know they have a really good buy list at the moment as well, especially with Throne of Eldraine out. So if you do have some leftover cards, you can sell them. You get bonus store credit as well. You can even check them out at GP Brisbane if you're going to be up here in Brisbane in December. Magic Fest. Sorry, apologies for anyone that gets a little bit triggered by that. Hopefully not. But Dicebox, I know that you've been playing Green White online. What do you feel are the advantages of playing Green White over the Black Splash, so Green Black? You of course don't get that hand disruption game one, so I feel like Combo and some decks like Miracles are probably a little bit worse off when you're playing the White Splash. We do have, of course, Green Sun, Zenith, and Teeg, so with a turn 1 creature, or turn 1 Mox, we can Green Suns for 2 on turn 2, which is really nice, so we can actually get Teeg online. But yeah, the hand disruption's the big one. We won the die roll against I Would Like to Respond, which is fantastic. And this hand's not too bad. We do have the Once Upon a Time, which is really nice. We have double Mox, so we can actually pitch a land off the Once Upon a Time to the depths. I mean, if we find something like Thespian Save, it's pretty much a turn to kill, which is kind of nice. It is going to be interesting to see how Once Upon a Time does. We're going to keep this. I'm not too sure what my opponent's on. You lose the power of hand disruption, but trade for a deck that is able to kill through heavy disruption. This deck is not combo dependent. Yeah, 100%. I kind of feel like the green-white version, which we are playing here, is definitely more a mid-range deck that has a combo finish. Windswept, snow-covered, night. Okay. I kind of like the Windswept here. Take Windswept. I'm not scared of Blood Moon because of these Mox Diamonds, so I'm going to get a Savannah. Having one part of the combo is really nice, but I'm not sure if I actually want to pitch these Mox Diamonds yet. I'm not going to cast this turn 1 Teeg, so I kind of just want to cast this Elvish Reclaimer and then just have my hand open. So I might even just cast Reclaimer, be a little bit slower with these Mox Diamonds, and just pass from there. They're going to force this. Interesting. Pitching Flusterstorm. Does that make me want to turn 1 Teeg? I don't think it does. This is most likely going to be something like Miracles. The main deck Flusterstorm could also be something like a Delver deck. So I think here I'm actually happy just to pass back. This might even incentivize them to Wasteland us, which I think right now we're more than happy for that to happen, so... I just think the Mox Diamonds right now are probably doing more in our hand as unknown information than on the field as sort of mana accelerants for now. Island Ponder, okay. Yeah, it could definitely be show and tell as well. I'm assuming maybe they then force the Elvish Reclaimer, if it is show and tell, thinking that we don't have Karakas or action. So I definitely like Teeg this turn with Karakas as backup. Oh, stage. Interesting. So this is interesting, because if it is show and tell, I really want the Karakas, and I don't really want to pitch either of these pieces of the combo to Mox Diamonds. I don't think there's a world either where I'm scared of actually playing the Karakas here and then just having it tapped. I don't think they can do anything in their turn where, you know, if they play a Grizzlebrand, we can just return it in our turn. They'll get to draw either way. Merchant Scroll. Interesting. Blue instant. Cunning Wish. Okay. Giver. So here I'm pretty happy to play the stage, play Giver, attack with Gaddock Teeg, and just hold up Dark Depths. I'm going to close this. I'll open up the game chat if we run into something like a Ponder and we want to see how they actually keep the Ponder. Wow, missed land drop. Okay. So now I'm pretty happy to probably cast Mox Diamond, pitch the Snow-Covered Forest, and now we have the Dark Depths combo with Karakas open. Be interesting to see. My opponent's obviously holding up Cunning Wish, so it'll be interesting to see what they actually Cunning Wish for in our end step. I believe Cunning Wish is just an instant, so you might be looking at something like Trick Bind. You may be even looking for some sort of combo piece. Merchant Scroll is an interesting one. I haven't seen Merchant Scroll in Show and Tell before. I've definitely seen it in High Tide. The 3 islands as mana bases, as the mana base as well, kind of pushes me towards thinking it's High Tide, but I think Gaddock Teeg is very good against that. But I don't think it's High Tide. I think it's definitely something else. And they're just going to concede. Interesting. So I definitely like Thalia. I'm not sure about Rec Sage. What don't I like? I don't think Scooze is going to be doing a whole lot in this matchup. Ramunap's probably not where we want to be, especially seeing their mana base so far. We've only seen basics, so I don't think something like a Wasteland lock is going to do anything. So that's a pretty easy switch up here. Spiral Tide, yeah. I definitely get that sort of feeling. So I don't mind Surgical because of the Spiral, but I'm not sure if that's going too all in. Tomik probably isn't where we want to be. Veil of Summer is actually pretty interesting. especially if we're wanting to get things down that can't be countered, like Gaddock Teeg, then having a Veil there is actually pretty nice. So I think I'm just going to sideboard like this, just these 4 cards, and see how they go. And then if we go to a game 3, we obviously have more information to go by, which is nice. But I can definitely see why you might bring in something like the Sylvan Library as an early way to start digging, especially against a high tide where it doesn't really matter what life you're on. You're most likely either dead or not dead. The same a little bit with Sneak and Show if this was just a poor draw by Sneak and Show, but the Merchant Scroll really put me off. I'm gonna open this beer. Can you hear this, guys? Oh, got a nice Colonial Sour this evening, which is very nice. For a lot of you Brisbane folk, you will know of Creole Soul Kitchen, which does sell this beer. This is sadly a pretty easy mulligan. I don't think there's a single world where I keep this, even if I knew I was going to draw Savannah. Scroll Fluster and Wish are all Tide cards. So we'll mulligan this for sure. This hand's pretty great. I'm pretty happy to drop the Dryad Arbor. We have a turn 1 play in Reclaimer, a turn 2 play in Thalia, a turn 3 play in Knight, so we do have a bit of disruption in the Thalia, which is really nice. So I'm pretty happy to keep this. Bottom the Dryad. Ooh. Polluted Delta pass. Alright. Karakas. I don't think I have to play around anything like Back to Basics, but I would like to here perhaps just get a Forest and play Reclaimer. It means we have a nice mana base for the first few turns, and we have access to all colors now through Basics, which is really nice. Wow, another Force, it looks like. Force pitching Flusterstorm, okay. Interesting that they kept the Flusterstorms in. Wonder what they're scared about. I think a Force on the Reclaimer is a massive win for us, especially when next turn we do have this Thalia to come down. I'm sure there is a world as well where if we knew about some sort of removal, we might just want to play it a little bit safer, but it looks like actually a 1-lander from my opponent. Pretty rough. So I'm just going to slam this Thalia, because it's just such a beating from my opponent if they can't get rid of it. Especially if they can't get rid of it this turn, because then we get the untap with Karakas. Yeah. So definitely unfortunate for my opponent. Another Giver. Definitely play the Karakas here. I'm going to play a Giver and then just get in with the Thalia here. I don't want to play the Knight because I want to try to make sure this Thalia is going to stick. Next turn we still have the Knight with Karakas backup, which is really nice. Definitely not as aggressive as I could be, but you know, it's pretty unfortunate for my opponent. But we get the win, which is nice. So we start off with a nice one. So we'll go straight into game 2. I'm not too sure what they were on. I actually saw I would like to respond on Twitter the other day, so I'll have to reach out and see what they were playing, because obviously didn't get to see a lot of it, and my opponent got pretty unlucky there with the mana base. But that's just Magic sometimes, and you got to take it on the shoulder and not let it get to you, which hopefully you have seen me do a few times. But yeah, deck felt good. That you know, it's always nice to test a card and then game 1, turn 1, you cast it without even paying for it. So it'll be interesting to see if Once Upon a Time stays in the deck, or if it's something that's, you know, green-black wants a little bit more. On the play again against Jax. I feel like we've played against Jax a few times, but this end's definitely a keep. But it's interesting what I want to do, because I can go turn 1 Giver or turn 1 Ooze. I don't mind the turn 1 Giver, and then try to let the Ooze You know, I'm not sure if I'm playing against a Bolt deck. So actually, I really like Turn 1 Giver. Although it's not being that effective with our efficient with our mana, it's definitely giving us the best. Let's just get a. Actually, we can just keep this fetch land here. Play Giver. And pass. So if they do have something like a Bolt in their deck, I'd much rather than Bolt the Giver than Bolt the Ooze. Although, unlike Mother of Runes, it doesn't really matter if you want to Bolt the Giver now or not, because... Haha, interesting. Once upon a time. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. I can't wait for it to be thrown into a Chancellor so you can crop rotate and shock the room animator player. 100%. Ah, so this looks like a version of the deck that's a lot faster than us. Because it plays Lotus Petals, and I believe it also plays Elvish Spirit Guides. Which is interesting, because it means the Once Upon a Times allow you to actually get... Duress is going to do nothing, thankfully. So I definitely want a Savannah out of my deck, so I'm just going to get one now. And then I don't actually mind playing this Night of Autumn just to gain a life. Just to go up in... I just want to get above 20. That's all I want to do. And then I'm pretty happy to attack you with the Giver. It's not like the Night of Autumn is really something that I want to protect right now, so I'd rather get the 1 damage through than actually just keep it back and hold it up, because it's definitely not protecting itself, so... Just a stage from my opponent. Duke's playing a card game I've seen before. Haha. Herculade, welcome to the channel. We are currently up a game, and we're playing against what looks to be the pseudo mirror, but it looks to be like a green-black Fast Steps version. Let's go for Verdant Catacombs, because at least you can go and get a Dryad Arbor, which does help the clock a little bit. We're going to attack first. And then I'm pretty happy just playing Ooze. Night of Autumn is in Silencia Adventure right now. We are also playing Once Upon a Time, which is very cool. Crop rotation. Interesting. I think that's fine. Maybe going for a Jewel Land or something like an Urborg. Okay. We sadly can't do anything here. I'm gonna get Dryad Arbor out of the deck. I don't really see a difference between 23 and 24 right now. Yeah, that's fair enough. Especially keeping up the stage so we can interact there, but or at least stop them from being able to interact. Bojuka Bog's not really going to do it. Is there a reason to attack? There really isn't. Do we have anything good here? I think we just play a land and pass, sadly. I guess, yeah, one thing I definitely have to get used to coming from Maverick is being a little less aggressive with getting the board wide And maybe playing defensively, like they're keeping up the stage instead of playing the Scavenging Ooze, as Dicebox said. We do have a few nice outs, so it's definitely not game over. I'm going to copy the Dryad Arbor here. Do we draw an out? Green Suns. I don't think Green Suns does it. Sadly not, we need one more turn. Scrib Ranger would have been sweet in the deck. That would have been an out, but I don't think we have an out, so we're going to have to concede. Hey, Tangy. Welcome to the chat. We're currently down a game against the Mirror, I guess we would call it. Surgicals are interesting. I'm not sure if I like Surgicals. I do like actually going down on Dark Depths and just having the one, and then trying to rely on their Dark Depths with Stage. Veil of Summer is interesting. I actually like Veil of Summer because of Duress. Teeg can definitely go out. Once Upon a Time is still really strong. We could drop a land, I believe. Pithing Needle seems quite nice. I don't think... I guess Thalia is okay on the draw. I'm not sure what it's better than. So Reclaimer seems great. Sylvan Safekeeper seems great. Giver seems great. They are all in combos. So Thalia does hit things like Lotus Petal. Of course, it slows down their ability to duress. I still want Mox Diamonds, I believe, especially on the play. I can probably drop... Screws isn't that great. It is a small way of gaining life, but I don't think that's really where we want to be anyway. Tomik is great. I'm not sure if the all-in versions of sort of Fast Steps plays Wasteland. I still think Tomik's great just as a flyer. So I think we can even drop like Sylvan Safekeeper. We have the Giver Runes. We're not too afraid of targeted removal. Knight seems fine. Ramunap seems fine. Maybe it's the Once Upon a Times. They are so good, but Dryad Arbor seems fine in case they're playing some sort of Edict effect. Bojuka Bog, probably not where we want to be. I might cut one Once Upon a Time. Knight's really good. Maybe it's just one Tomik. I could cut the Tomb, but I really like it as just a crop rotation ability. I might even just take out one Veil. And just go ahead with this. Hopefully there's a game through and we can think a little bit more about our sideboarding options, but we will be on the play. This hand is a little bit slow. We have a turn 2 Excavator. We have 2 Part 2 Exiles, which is kind of nice. So something like Duress, it's just by itself doesn't do a whole lot, but I don't think this is really where we want to be. The Ramunap not doing a whole amount with this hand. So they also have Elvish Reclaimer, which is a great target for the Part 2 Exile. But the paths also don't really work that well with Thalia because we're giving them the mana to actually pay her tax for, which is a little bit of a no-go, but I mean, giving them a land is much better than leaving them with a creature. Yeah. On similar lines, I always think of Rite of Consumption as an out for an all-in kind of deck like that. I'm going to mulligan this. I really want to turn one play. I want to be a little bit proactive. It sounds actually pretty great, especially that Once Upon a Time. So I'm going to keep this. And then probably cast the Needle, naming Hexmage. The Hexmage starts what I'm probably quite scared of. And we do have our own Thespian stages, which I don't want to turn off, so pretty happy to, yeah, go ahead with a Once Upon a Time into Pithing Needle. Hey, Tell Randy, thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from, what you play in Legacy, if you play Legacy. So we'll keep this, and I'm just going to bottom the Dark Depths. I think we're going to win this game if we really grind them out. And Thespian Sage is actually pretty nice. So let's go for Stage. Savannah. Hexmage. I believe all our fetches, I mean fetches are an option, I don't think they're a great option, but because we play Verdant Catacombs, I believe that's really the only card we could name. You're from Brazil but living in the US. I just borrowed a friend's deck to play, but loving Rug Delver and Blue White Stoneblade. Two very cool decks with a lot of decision making. Rug probably the better deck right now in the format, but obviously both are pretty good. Thespian Stage for my opponent is a pretty slow start, which is nice. A land here is pretty great, and I think I'm actually pretty happy just to cast this Thalia here. I could also Green Suns for Elvish Reclaimer. Which I don't mind. I don't mind playing the Stage here and then going for Reclaimer. It gives us a little bit of board presence. It makes duress obviously a whole lot worse for my opponent. Off-topic question. I'm currently in a dilemma of what to play. I'm currently undecided between Grixis Snow Control and Miracles. That's an interesting one. I think that I've definitely seen Grixis put up results recently, but I really like the look of Miracles right now. Especially with a lot of players running back to it. So here, I'm just going to cast Giver. I don't know if I want to play this Thalia or not. I don't mind it, as it definitely puts them back if they Ghost Quarter us. It also means they can't crop rotate this turn if there was some sort of weird way they could. What are the characteristics of Snow Control over normal Grixis Control? I could have just lagged as well, that's very true. Oh, Dark Depths, okay. Ah, of course. Not playing around Simeon. Yeah, that's fair enough. Do we get an out? Oh, we have Karakas, right? And they can't actually do anything because of the Thalia, which is really nice. The path is great, but I think that Karakas is just best here. I also have the ability to... Oh, Karakas comes in tapped. That's very correct. So let's go for path here. while they're tapped out. Unless they have Elvish Reclaimer and Not of This World. Sorry, Elvish Spirit Guide. They can then pay for the Thalia. Okay, luckily they didn't. So that's interesting. Because they're so all in on the combo, I kind of want to take out my other Dark Depths. So maybe I don't mind Surgical. It's just so good if we can take them off the Dark Depths combo, because post-board we do have a lot of resilience. We have, of course, Path to Exiles. We have the Karakas package that can be fetched with Crop Rotation or Elvish or Knight. Collector Ouphe is interesting as well. It does turn off our own Mox Diamonds. And usually if our opponent's playing a Lotus Petal, they're using it that turn. I'm bringing in the Veil because if they saw the Path to Exile, they're most likely bringing in any number of hand disruption spells, especially on the play, if they did take any out. So because they're on the play, I might just drop a Thalia. I might just drop both Thalias. Yeah, dice, 100%. Let's just go with this. This hand is nice. It doesn't have a white source. We can hold up Veil, but if they take Veil, his hand's not doing a lot. We can hold up Stage as a turn 2, you can't play Dark Depths. Why Giver of Runes over Mother of Runes? Giver of Runes gives protection from Karakas as a colorless source. It also gives protection from like Maze of Ith. And it lives through neg1 hate, which is kind of big right now. Alright, let's mulligan this. Yikes. We'll definitely mulligan this. This one's better. We'll keep this. And I'm going to drop 1 Green Suns. And probably the Snow-Covered Forest. Everything else is pretty good. Needle, interesting. I wonder what they name. We only run the one Wasteland. Okay. Interesting. Stage. So I could go and get Dryad Arbor. I could also hold up Path. I don't mind Dryad Arbor off the Green Sun Zenith. That means next turn we can hold up Path and play Reclaimer. This is interesting. Can they make it? Can they make it in any way right now? I don't think they can. Unless they have Elvish Spirit Guide and Crop Rotation. So I wonder if I want to do it in my upkeep. Sorry, in their upkeep. So I can make Lage, but I don't think there's any reason not to do it in their upkeep. Because if they do have Elvish Spirit Guide and Crop Rotation, they can float 2 mana here. Elvish Spirit Guide, Crop Rotate the Urborg, get Thespian Stage, make a copy of Dark Depths, sack the Dark Depths, get the 20/20 and mine Fizzles, and then they can attack me in their turn. But if I wait until their upkeep, they can't attack me in the following turn. And we do have the path. So I don't mind that. They had it! Haha, they had it! That's why you wait. That's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna let them draw. So I really want a Surgical Dark Depths, but I think I'll do it now. At least we can see the hand as well. Ooh, not of this world. Rough. We do have Tomik, but we don't have double. Wow. Alright, we're going to draw pretty good. Giver. I don't believe we can do anything. Yeah. White source would be sweet because then we get the Tomik. But sadly, we're just dead. Probably naming Karakas. Might as well try. Rough. Alright, we are 1-1. Sweet games, bud. Just too slow. It's too slow. But we're straight to our third match, which is really nice. And usually if it loads... No. I was going to say something stupid, so I'm going to keep that in my mouth. Ready, Rand up. Alright. Sounds interesting. So we have a turn 1 Sylvan Safekeeper, but after that we don't have too much. The Ancient Tomb really doesn't help this hand, and we don't have any of the actual pieces. So I can definitely see us drawing into more spells, and this hand just really not allowing us to cast anything. So I'm going to mulligan this. This is much better. We'll keep this. And because we have the Once Upon a Time, I'm just going to drop a land. I'm going to drop the Savannah. Because we can fetch for it, and if they are a Blood Moon deck, if they turn 1 Blood Moon, we still have the Snow-Covered Forest. Prismatic Vista. Interesting. So maybe some sort of blue-white base deck. Windswept Heath. Let's go for Once Upon a Time. To be fair, I could have played a land first. Knight's actually pretty nice. Do I want to use a fetch land? I guess I want to use a fetch land to get this Reclaimer online a lot faster. I'm going to use the Verdant Catacombs because at least the Windswept Heath can fetch for either basic. Interesting. Lightning Bolt. Maybe this is some sort of like Delver deck that's just playing a lot of basics? The two fetches are nice because it means this turn 3 Knight's going to be a 4/4. Dark Depths. I think we just go Forest Past. Interesting. Wrenn. Alright. Stage. Okay. Let's just get a basic. And play Gaddock Teeg. I'm not sure if this is going to do much. Teeg's fine, but it doesn't die to Wrenn. It's something that can actually pressure Wrenn a little bit. Having that Savannah in the graveyard as well means this another Reliquary is actually going to be a 5/5, which is great because it means it doesn't die to Lightning Bolt plus Wrenn as a 4/4. Naya. Mentor. Okay. Interesting. Crop rotation. Probably still just going to play Stage here for Knight. Do I want to attack the Wrenn first? That's interesting. I think I do. I think I'm happy to trade for the Monastery here. I don't want to cast anything in my first main phase, so it might look like I have some sort of spell that I can cast at instant speed to disrupt their blocks. Very aggressive, especially as this Knight is now getting really big. I can also just kill the Knight this turn, sorry, the Wrenn this turn if I attack it with Knight here, giving it pro-white. Which I think is very relevant. I think the Wrenn's definitely got a bit of board presence here, so I'm pretty happy to slow down a turn just to do this. I do have the ability to crop rotate for Maze of Ith to untap the Knight, but I don't think it's worth it. It is interesting, but I actually don't mind that. That's kind of nice. And now we can just pass back with a really nice blocker, so they're definitely not attacking with the Mentor. I wonder how much this Gaddock Teeg is actually doing. I do have the option here just to sack, so I'm pretty happy to do that. Get a Windswept. Fetch for a basic. Attack with Knight. Damage done. Let's untap it. And then I think in their upkeep, we're just going to make a 20/20. What do we have in the bin? We don't have any. We have a snow-covered forest already in the bin. So let's go for a snow-covered. Get Thespian Stage. Copy this. Keep this one. That was an interesting game. So all we saw was Lightning Bolt, Ren, and Swift Spear. And they have 7 cards in hand. I don't believe that this Gaddock Teeg was keeping any more than maybe 1 card in their hand. Interesting build. This is where your Mav experience beats out my lands experience. Haha! Classic. I definitely do like the line there of just playing the Thespian stage and holding up the combo. Or of course even seeing if they Wasteland your stage and then just copying a basic so that the Wasteland fizzles, but this is interesting. I don't think Gaddock Teeg is that relevant in this matchup. I actually don't know if there's that much that I want to bring in, maybe other than Sylvan Library. I think this is a pretty good matchup. Maybe 1 or 2 paths, seeing that we did see Mentor. I think the way I lose this game is just through Mentor. It's a very fair deck though. I wonder if we can even drop down on something like... Bojuka Bog seems fine because of the Ren. Steps, still pretty good. Probably Dryad Arbor can come out. I don't think you're going to have any sort of removal. They're not going to have any sack effects, and the Dryad Arbor is just quite poor against Ren. Same with Safekeeper. I definitely like keeping my creature base as Ren-proof. They could have Astrolabe. Maybe then it's worth having a Collector Ouphe in here. And maybe I can take out the Knight of Autumn. Just as a silver bullet in case they do rely on those. So let's go ahead with this. This hand doesn't do a lot. It's got the Mox, which is really nice, but other than that, we're going to be able to get to a... I wonder if they're a Blood Moon deck, because this hand is great against Blood Moon. And especially the 2 Rens means that if we play turn 1 or turn 1, 2 Givers, they can protect each other, acting like a Mother of Runes a little bit. We're also going to be able to draw into spells we're going to be able to cast for the rest of the game, which is nice. So I don't mind actually keeping this. I know it is very light on gas and actually being able to do something, but I'm not too unhappy about it. Windswept Heath, alright. Play a Heath. Play a Mox. Pitch a Heath. Fetch just for a basic. Play Giver. Play Giver. And 6. Looks like one will be bolted here. not the worst in the world. It's a lot better than something else being bolted, like a Gaddock Teeg or actually Teeg's not in. Something like a Scooze. It does also allow us to start building towards getting a Scooze that's bigger than just a 2/2, which is nice, and maybe out of bolt range. But this deck looks like a Naya build that might rely on Astrolabes to really get their blue going. I'm not too sure. There's the blue. Knight. Interesting. I definitely don't mind just playing this. Even though they have up maybe a counterspell, I think we're definitely winning this game if we're pressuring them with something like another Reliquary here. Especially as a 5/5. Brainstorm in response. Okay. Hey, Burasuko, I'm going to quickly show you. On stream, you can actually click out here and you can see the deck list, which is really cool. So that's a Cubwood Live feature. But welcome to the stream. Just going to pass because I want to keep up my Knight. That deck list might be a little bit old on the Stream Decker platform. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Okay. That's going to be fine. This Bog's actually quite nice. We can also Wasteland them if we want. We can also just Scooze. I don't mind Scooze here. Especially if we want a Wasteland. So let's just chuck a Sickie. Place or... I'm going to float. I want to play around days, so I'm going to get our 1-off Wasteland. Wasteland our opponent. They don't do anything, so we'll play Scooze. And then just pass turn. Swords to Plowshares. Sadly, that's going to be fine. They probably can't attack either, unless they have a removal spell in hand, which they would have already cast, because we can eat what they target with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then also make the Scavenging Ooze a 3/3 by eating our Giver of Runes. So if they attack, they're losing their Dreadhorde. And if they don't hack, they're definitely putting themselves in a pretty awkward position. Wow. Wasteland is going to be fine, sadly. Do I want to eat something here? I kind of feel like I do, and I think it's Swords. Just because it deals with the Knight. Once Upon a Time, that's interesting. Let's play that. This is interesting. I like the stage. And then I like playing the Bojuka Bog. Hitting them. And now just getting aggressive. I didn't want to show the stage, and I wanted to bog that turn. Mainly so this Ooze is not so dependent. I'm not so dependent on this Ooze with just this one Mox Diamond. But also, they might try to like Wasteland us just for Astrolabe. Okay. just to start healing our mana a little bit better. They do know about it, of course. We have to actually reveal the Thespian stage to Once Upon a Time. I feel like I was living in a bit of a fairyland with not thinking that. Here's... oh, Oko? Perhaps? It is Oko, okay. What do they want to do here? Probably make this a 3/3. Interesting, okay. I think just in response, we're definitely going to eat our own Giver of Runes. There's no reason to do it in response, but I just want to do it anyway, so... yeah, Oko seems pretty nuts, but they're going to have to lose their Dreadhorde Arcanist here if they want to keep it. Once Upon a Time. Sure. Okay. I like Dark Depths. I like playing Stage and just holding it up so we can actually copy our own, like, snow-covered land in response. Definitely attack Oko. Luckily, both our creatures are 3/3, so this Dreadhorde Arcanist is on chump block duty if it does want to block. Alright, let's pass back. I also want to hold up Scooze, because then we can actually make it a 4/4 in response to Bolt. So I don't want to just Thespian stage there and tap out for their turn. I think if they have the swords, they want to keep it for this Dark Depths, because we can actually interact at instant speed, but they're going to go after it. Do I want to eat anything? I don't. I'm just glad that Oko doesn't actually draw cards. Gains life from food tokens. Oh wow, you can exchange pretty much straight away as well. I didn't realize the ultimate was -5. You can even tick up, create a food token, and then give them food for their creature. That's hilarious. I love this guy. I know there's a lot of Maverick players wanting to play this in some sort of Bant deck, which I really like. I think that's great. Oko's hilarious. Especially stealing something like a Jide or an Aether Vial would be very cool. Taking a Vial is very cool. Opponent obviously having a pretty big think here. Maybe not too sure what they want to do with this. Obviously, they have to tick it up. Looks like a Wren. Okay. We'll see if they Wasteland here. They go for the Bog. I think in response, because they're tapped out, I'm just going to copy Snow-Covered Plains. Did they play a land this turn? I don't think they have. Ooh, interesting. They didn't take up Oko either. Okay, they've got a second main phase. Here we go. Okay. Got a little bit startled there. Steppe. Does Steppe do anything? No. Probably want to attack Oko here. Get it down to 3. Play Dark Depths, and then just pass turn. Stealing Germs sounds very interesting. In Urza, okay. I guess you can get your mana pretty well sorted, which is interesting. And the tick up, of course, creating artifacts is very cool as well. I think like a second Wasteland here would be pretty nuts, because then they can just... yeah, I guess they can hit Dark Depths and then hit Dark Depths in response to what's actually targeting it, but... Yeah, 100%. Turning Baubles into 3/3s is no mean feat, which definitely sounds really, really fun, because sometimes the Baubles are what just kind of, yeah, doesn't really push the deck towards winning the game if you're destroying Baubles. But if your Baubles become 3/3s, pretty interesting. They're going after Dark Depths now, so now I kind of feel like I just have to make it. We'll keep this one. They play Karakas, maybe? What do they got? A white, a blue, and a red. Oh. Gotta have something good. A way to bounce it? A way to copy it? I feel like Astrolabe has been like the printing of the... Oh, here we go. Renegade Rallier. Okay. Getting back Arcanist. Okay. How are you beating Marit Lage? Wasteland's fine. Submerge, perhaps? Is Submerge the one card that they have left in their hand? I don't know what my opponent did, but we got the match, which is really nice. So, getting a little bit dicey there, especially with that Oko, which could run away with the game very quickly if my opponent had something like another Swords or... Oko was on 1, so it was going up to 2. Surely opponent could have just made the 2020 a 3/3. I think that was their route. And maybe they accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. He could have made the Depths an Elk. I don't get what all the fuss is about Elk. I think Elk is a great meat. It's very lean, I believe. This hand's fine. Safekeeper ran once upon a time. Green Suns. Happy to keep this. Island. So the island makes me want to play a land first. Another Once Upon a Time, okay. So let's go land. Play this around Daze, but not around Spell Pierce. Ooh, okay. We will not pay 2. I'm just going to get basic here and then play this Safekeeper. I think here we just Once Upon a Time, and maybe find something like Gaddock Teeg would be sweet. This looks like a Miracles list, so Brainstorm. Ooh. Interesting. So we can get a Scooze for the long game. We can get a Port, which is a lot better than Wasteland in this matchup. Or we can get the Stage, which is one half of the combo. And I think the correct decision is probably Stage. Especially with the Safekeeper already in play. We can also attack here. It's not like our opponent can cast something like a Snapcaster Mage, which is really nice. Oh. Maybe I spoke too soon. Ha! Tundra, okay. Am I happy protecting this by sacking a land? We do have a fair amount of mana. We do have Wasteland next turn, but no follow-up. So I could hit the Snow Covered here, which I don't mind doing. Sack the Snow Covered. It'll be interesting here if they go for another island. They don't. Judgment's fine. At least now we can Wasteland them. Reclaim is actually a fantastic draw. Because now we also get a play for the turn. That isn't just like a throwaway Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. It's also a 3/4, which is very nice. Fetch straight away, interesting. Maybe they want to ponder. Alright. Dark Depths. Haha, interesting. Do I want a Green Suns again? I think the Green Suns is really good if we can go and get Teeg. But worst case is next turn they have a Jace. So I'm actually pretty happy with just going for another Reclaimer here. Just to keep some pressure on the field. But also act like it's half of the combo that we don't have. Snap Swords, okay. Now we can go, hopefully draw an untapped land. Ooh, Crop Rotation. Crop Rotation does it. Crop Rotation does do it. Let's let's get Ancient Tomb, and then play Depths, and then pass. So very all in, but our opponent has just played a Snapcaster Mage hitting Swords to Plowshares, which they didn't obviously have in hand. No blocks. No. Haha, no way. Alright. Guess we're going to 40. I think Steppe is just a little bit better here than Dark Depths. Because it taps for mana, it means we can maybe cast this Knight the following turn. That's a pretty great draw. See if we can get this Knight into play. We can. It's a 10-10. We know they don't have a Jace. No great attacks either. Wow, okay. That's pretty nice for us. Let's play Depths and pass back. Still nothing. Alright. Let's float a mana. Oh, we have to float a forest. Go and get stage. And we're just going to get there, which is really nice. Against Miracles, it can get pretty tough. They didn't have a Jace, which was really nice. Or something like an early Mentor, although we did have pretty big creatures, so that's always interesting. This is always an interesting matchup. I think we can pretty safely take out some number of Knights, maybe a Reclaimer and a Giver. Definitely bringing in Sylvan Library. Definitely bringing in the Thalias, even though we're on the draw. I don't mind the Rec Sage, but I don't think they're bringing him back to basics. And if they are, we still have the Knight of Autumn. I don't mind Veil of Summer, just to try to make sure our spells are resolving. We can probably also go down on something like 1 Dark Depths. They are on Sanctuary now, that is very true. So that'll be pretty interesting. Hey, Arkin with the host. A huge congratulations. A huge thank you, sorry. Arkin, of course, a very well-known Legacy streamer. A big fan of Blue Decks, I believe. So Arkin, a huge thank you for the host. To those of you from Arkin's channel, hello, my name is Dukes on Twitch. I run the greensunzenith.com. I stream Legacy Maverick or Legacy Depths, as you can see. We're currently 2-1 in a league, up a game against Miracles. And we're just looking to see how we sideboard right now. So this is going to be pretty interesting. So hello to all of you. Please let me know where you're from in chat, what you play in Legacy. If you play Legacy, that'll be really cool. I don't think the Surgicals are worth it. I think it's a little bit too all in. I definitely like the Thalias. I definitely like the Veils and the Sylvan Library, which is interesting. Arkin with the Ewoks. There we go. Steppe's still really great, of course, with Swords of Plowshares in the deck. And maybe even a Karakas, although Steppe only gives protection from colors, so I still like the Givers. Maybe I actually like a Giver over Steppe. I see you're back playing Ewok deck, but Depths is kind of Sith. Yeah, I guess a 2020 in the air is pretty Sith. It's kind of like the Imperial shuttle of creatures. And Hexmage is kind of like the Vader, I guess. Bring in Collector for top. Yeah, sadly, actually, thankfully, top is out. Crop rotation's an interesting one. I think we can definitely maybe go down on a crop because of things like counterbalance. Maybe Needle just for Jace is worth it. We'll keep in one of these. We'll keep in the extra Reclaimer. I do like it just as a threat. It's really nice. Just making sure we did sideboard there. Yes, we did. Yeah, Reclaimer seems really good, especially in the... I don't mind this hand because of the Sylvan Library, but other than that, it's not looking... It's looking okay. The triple Thespian stage are, of course, not the greatest, but the Knight's going to be great. I think I'm pretty happy to keep this. I wonder if our opponent actually brings in Needle as a sideboard card just for something like... just as a kind of like a sideboard all-star against a lot of decks. Sylvan Library not the greatest if they're on the Narset plan, but I think here I'm happy to play this Windswept Heath for a basic in their end step. Just get a little bit more information out of them. Counterbalance. Honda, okay. Still with something like Spell Pierce open. Which I think I'm happy running this Sylvan Library into. The advantage of having the Sylvan on the board against the disadvantage of getting it countered by not waiting, I think is just so good. I heard you suck at MTG. All aboard the troll train, you are 100% correct. I think I actually sometimes captain that train against myself. We're going to get a basic forest here. Untap. Knight of Autumn's interesting. I'm going to go with the Thespian stage here and play Sylvan Library. Just because if they do back this up with something like Back to Basics, I'd be pretty happy to then just play the Savannah. But it looks like the Sylvan Library is getting down, which is nuts. Another fetch straight away, so this could be something like a Disenchant or just a straight up Mentor. Ponder, okay. First 3 turns have been a Ponder. Interesting. I actually want to see what they've been doing with it. Should game log. Chose not to shuffle with the Ponder. Chose to shuffle with the Ponder. Okay, so they shuffled the last one. That's interesting. I was very close to the Inventor. I would love to take that that title, but... Ooh. Ancient Tomb. Not where we want to be just yet. I think I'm pretty happy paying 4 for the Ooze, and then just playing the Knight of Reliquary this turn. I could also play the Giver, but... If I want to bait out Swords to Plowshares, I kind of want to pay for both of these, and then this turn, play both Giver and Scavenging Ooze. I mean, if this gets Swords and then Snap Swords, I wouldn't be too unhappy with that. Because I really want this Knight of the Reliquary to resolve. It also means we get to dig deeper with the Sylvan Library, which is really nice. Ooh, this will be interesting. Okay, they're going after the library. That's fair. So we know that we're drawing land. Okay. Want to protect it, so we'll keep back Giver. Hopefully not see something like a Supreme Verdict or a Terminus coming up. Swords here. I think in response we just give this Knight pro-white. Wow, another Judgment. Okay. Always lucky. Always lucky. You know, it definitely helps if you're not too good at Magic. You can just be lucky, and it sometimes just works out for you. Let's tap like this. And we're just going to get there. So obviously our opponent didn't have it. So playing out that Mum and the Scavenging Ooze was pretty crucial to making sure we could try to push them out to swords and then not actually have it for the Dark Depths, which is pretty good. Just getting berated in chat. Could have gotten you, but yeah. Yeah, Modern just isn't my jam right now. I do have a few decks built, but I'm not really enjoying any of them. I really liked Eternal Command, which was an Aether Vial based deck that kind of revolved around Eternal Witness and Cryptic Command, which was really nice. And you played some beaters through Tomik Ouphe and maybe Vendilion Click or Huntmaster of the Fells. Really fun deck. It was played at the Pro Tour, I believe in maybe 2014 by... I totally forget his name. But it's a really fun deck. Did you look at the Mystic Sultai list from last weekend? I didn't, but I will have to look. Mystic Sanctuary seems really cool in the deck, especially as a way to get stuff back. Lockby88, welcome to the chat. Currently up 3-1, not too bad. Playing Green-White Depths with Once Upon a Time, which has been pretty good. Especially as a late game draw, it's great. As an opener, it's fantastic, of course, because you get to cast it for free. But it does have that effect of, if you have one in hand, it's a little bit hard to mulligan because you're not too sure if it's going to hit a land or a creature, and then you're not sure if it's going to hit the land that you want or the creature that you want. So it definitely has its downsides, but I've been enjoying it so far. It uses the new land with Cryptic Bounce. Yeah, that's pretty hilarious because, of course, you can just have that soft lock of counter your spell, bounce my land, and then get back the Cryptic Command, and... Yuck. Yuck. Mystic Sultai with Sam Black. Mr. Story, thank you very much for sending this through. Ah, interesting. It's really just... Okay. Wow, it's very spell-based. Just the 4 Snapcasters and 1 Torrential Gearhulk. But that looks really fun. A little bit bluish for my liking, but it does look very cool. It's a super slow deck, yeah. I think I may have seen it with Pulsar Marauser, maybe on channel. Alright, we're on the play against Deathrite 1221. We'll definitely play first. And this hand's pretty fantastic. We're going to keep this for sure. We have a pretty nice combo hand with the Once Upon a Time as well. I've seen Deprive and Sanctuary used in blue-white Delver Blade. That seems pretty interesting. Seems a lot more up my alley. This is interesting. I think I like taking the Windswept Heath over the night. We have the Green Suns for any more threats. But if I want to use this Mox Diamond, I'm down to 1 land, so I want to make sure that I'm hitting my land drops as well. So what we're going to do is cast Mox Diamond, pitch the basic plains, play Windswept Heath, and then just play Elvish Reclaimer here. I assume you're hitting up the Brisbane GP Dukes. I will definitely be there. So we've been fortunate enough to get a Legacy main event on the Friday. Hey, Sid Tech with a tier 1 sub for 6 months. A huge thank you for the continued support, of course. Basic Plains. What is this, Bush Week? Haha, classic. Eldrazi Spaghetti Monster, thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from, what you play in Legacy, if you play Legacy. But Sid Tech, thank you very much. That means a lot. Ooh, Eldrazi, interesting. This Wasteland seems really nice right now. Once Upon a Time. I think I want to hold this open. I definitely want to Wasteland them. And then if we fetch here, we can also just attack for 3. So if we get a Savannah... we can cast Once Upon a Time. Hey, Jitesh, there he is. Thank you very much. That is 100% correct. It was Yasuoka who played Eternal Command. And actually took it down, which is very interesting. I don't think I'm scared of any artifacts or enchantments in Game 1 against an Ivogin deck. Unless they're playing some sort of version with the ability to ramp. But if so, I think I'd rather just take the Steppe here as a way to get more mana. And then next turn we have open... yeah, we have a lot of stuff open. We have a lot of we have a lot more mana to play with. So I think it's really just mana here that I want, even though the Steppe's not doing a whole lot. We can definitely attack. Ah, that's the Delverblade list? Okay, very cool. Void, I know. I just call you Sid Tech because I know it's SLD Tech. But a huge thank you. I will be back on CS soon, I hope. I always see the chat and seeing everyone get keen for it. And I just want to be getting keen for it as well. Yeah, oh, another eye, okay. So I think that's probably a great reason to just crop rotate here for a Wasteland. Unless we draw into a piece. Ooh. What we're going to do here is... crop rotate this Savannah. Get an Ancient Tomb. Cast this Ramunap. Get back Wasteland from the bin. Yeah. That is Pog. So luckily up a game, which is really nice. So this is interesting. Sylvan Safekeeper can most likely come out. Bojuka Bog can most likely come out as well. I don't mind the paths, even though they're most likely a Chalice deck. I do like the paths. Everything else is pretty good. The Gaddock Teeg's interesting. It does stop things like Ugin or All's Dust, but maybe because our mana denial plan is actually really good, it's worth not even just having it in here. Don't you only have one waste? You didn't have one for rotate. That's very true. So getting the Ramunap up there, being able to play it without playing a land drop, and then get the Wasteland back from the graveyard was pretty awesome. What else do we want? Do we want anything else? Collector Ouphe is interesting if they are on some sort of mana acceleration plan, like Grim Monoliths, Thraben Dynamos, maybe playing some sort of Voltaic Key, or the new one that also allows, I think, one creature to not untap. So I think that's a pretty fine switch right there. And maybe that's it. Maybe even like the Tomiks aren't that great because they could be running Wasteland themselves, but I don't think we're really in a position where we care about it. So I think I'd much rather just the 3 paths as a nice way to deal with something like Thought Knot or Reality Smasher early. It's probably Stompy Torpost only really plays one eye. Yeah, that's fair enough. And this hand is a 20/20 on turn 4. I think there's a better hand. I'm actually not too sure as well. I have seen some Eldrazi lists run a stage in the deck. If they are in some sort of version with Cloud Post, you usually see it. It's also just quite good now because it is a colorless source. It comes in untapped. And you can also just get people if they're playing the Dark Depths combo like we are. But I don't think this hand is great. We're going to mulligan this. This hand's great. We're going to keep this. And we're just going to bottom probably the Steppe. It's a land that comes in tap, so I don't really want that. And we don't have a Mox Diamond now opening, so unless we draw it, the Steppe's not doing a whole lot. Okay, so Grim Monolith. So something like Ouphe here would be great. Not the bear we wanted. Knight of the Reliquary is probably the take here. It's just a good big creature. However, the Ancient Tomb is interesting because it allows us to try to get out Reclaimer a lot faster, or at least get out what we want to do with Reclaimer a lot faster. Not at all. I mean, yeah, definitely the two eyes kind of gave away a bit of a sense that it was more on the aggro plan. It's an interesting one. I don't think it's between the givers. We already have a Dark Depths. I think because we have the Reclaimer and a Scooze, I kind of want the Ancient Tomb as just a faster way to play this Dark Depths out. So I'm going to get Ancient Tomb, and then we're just going to fetch for a basic. So our hand is pretty thought not proof, which is nice. I take the Scooze. Oh, do they have like key? Key would be interesting. Charles for 1, okay. Not too bad, not too bad. Reclaimer, okay. I think here we just want to play this Ancient Tomb. Because then we can sack the forest for Thespian stage and next turn have it open, so I'm pretty happy with that. Oof, Wasteland's pretty good. Wasteland's very annoying. So we can bait the Wasteland here, which at least gets rid of the Wasteland, which is nice. I think we kind of have to. And we'll probably just sack the snow-covered plain, snow-covered forest. Hey, Dicebox, have a great week. Thank you very much for being in here and watching us play. We're going to sack the forest. We're going to keep our mana around. Get a stage. There is merit as well for going after the Ancient Tomb here with the Wasteland over the Thespian stage. They probably know that it's our only accelerant in mana. But it does mean that they have to find an answer to this because they know about the Dark Depths from the Thought-Knots here. They're going to let it slide. Interesting. Knight. Knight's interesting. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to fetch straight away for just a forest, and then act like I have up crop rotation and just attack here. I've got to get pretty aggressive, and it means next turn we can just play this knight if we want to. Crop into Chalice is a bad play. That is very true. Reality Smasher. Okay. Now we're down to 3. So this Reclaimer next turn is going to be on chump block duty pretty much. Mox Diamond. Does that help in any way? It means we can Reclaimer for something like... So let's play a land first. Play knight. Go my spaghetti brethren. And now we can actually play the Mox and ditch the Depths, making the Knight a 6/6, which is kind of nice. Getting very close to dead, especially if they do have their own... Monolith is 4 to... Yeah, we have to keep this back anyway. We can't use the Reclaimer right here. I mean, like, Walking Ballista does it here as well. Spyglass. That's going to resolve. We can't do anything. Another Reliquary, okay. Matter Reshaper, okay. I guess we're gonna have to sack this right now. Go and get Maze of Ith? They do of course have the Wasteland, but... Oh, crop rotation. Interesting. Doesn't really work with the Chalice out, which is annoying. So sadly, I think we're just dead because of the Wasteland. But we'll definitely just play it out. Alright, we're into game 3. So I think we'll definitely go for Reclamation Sage on the play. I don't mind Tomik either, because we did see that Wasteland. So I think what we'll take out is just one path. And maybe the Scooze. The Scooze is a little bit too late. I'm pretty happy with everything else. I think everything else is really nice. The Giver of Runes would have been really good as well. Because they can give protection from colorless. So it does mean that they can give protection from Eldrazi. Nothing else is really... Pithing Needle as well, I don't really think it's worth bringing in Pithing Needle. I think we just run back what we have and see how it goes. I'd love to play first. This hand's pretty good because we have the Once Upon a Time. We can even go double Elvish Reclaimer, which is pretty broken. We're going to keep this. Luckily, our opponent can't go Chalice One on our turn, so these Elvish Reclaimers should do pretty good. Outside of Ratchet Bomb, I'm not too sure if they have like an early answer. Windswept Heath here is perfect. So we're going to Windswept Heath. Go for a Savannah because I don't really want to Wasteland us here. I am from Brisbane, so thankfully I am where the GP is this year. We have a really good... I'm going to keep the Port because the Port's really nice. So I'm going to drop the Wasteland, the Thespian stage, and play this Reclaimer and then pass back. Yeah, Brisbane's got a great Eternal scene. I know Melbourne's got a pretty good Eternal scene. Adelaide, of course, has a really good Highlander scene and also growing their Eternal scene. But yeah, got a good mix of Magic players here, which is always nice. What about yourself, Spaghetti? Where are you from? What formats do you play? Oh, Dark Depths. That's interesting. I think we just want to play Port here. And just swing in for 2. And port them in their turn. I live in the Philippines. Very cool. A lot of good players in the Philippines. What's their legacy scene like? Ooh, Green Suns. I guess we can Green Suns for Ouphe is pretty nice. We can also Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, play Dark Depths, and then we have up the ability to port them in their turn. It's pretty terrible for Legacy. Biardono, thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from, what you play in Legacy, if you play Legacy. Okay, let's just attack first, I guess. I think we just attack first. Hey, Tanzanil, thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from. What do you play in Legacy? If you play Legacy, what your Magic scene's like in a local scene. So here I kind of like just green sunning for Collector Ouphe. It does turn off our Mox Diamond, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think I'd much rather turn off their stuff. You're from Italy and usually play Elves and Black-Green Depths. Elves has definitely seen a tick up over the last couple of weeks, which is really cool. Ooh, Blast Zone's pretty good. Rough. Yes. Alright. Can we just, like, draw into Thespian stage? Green Suns. We can Green Suns for 1. We can definitely attack first. Maybe it's... Yeah, I think we should just Green Suns for 1 here. You live in Amsterdam, watch a lot of Eternal formats online, but only play Modern, Commander, and Limited. Still very good formats. Some of the best, if anything. Alright, eye there is very nice from my opponent. Really looking for something here. Giver. I think we don't want to cast Giver here, and we just want to hold up the combo. Because we can use 2 mana to go and get Thespian stage. I actually don't mind blocking with the Ouphe here, just so we can get this turned on. Because then it means in our turn we don't have to draw land to actually activate Dark Depths. I don't want to block the Mana Reshaper either, because it kills it, and I might actually give them the Wasteland that they need. Oh, Grim, okay. Another tomb. I guess we sack the... Oh my gosh. I clicked on Maze over Thespian stage. Rough. Rough. Classic. That is a massive punt. So what do we want to do here? That's really rough. Oh, because now we don't even have the mana to activate it. That's clutching. I guess we can attack. This does put them in an awkward position where they can't actually use their Ancient Tombs unless they get rid of the Elvish Reclaimer. I hope that doesn't come back to us. I hope that doesn't come back to us. Oh, Urborg. Okay. That's actually great for us. So let's untap Thought-Knot. And then, still in combat, we can tap them off the temple. Looks like they're just going to eye here, perhaps? Yeah, okay. What do they get? Yeah, Urborg's interesting, Lazy. It means that like our Dark Depths and Maze are now actual mana. Which is great for us because his Green Suns now can go get something like a Knight of the Reliquary. So it'll be interesting to see what they get with this eye. Maybe something like Ulamog? Yeah, okay. 2/4. However, we can give Pro here and turn off these Ancient Tombs. Endless one for 2, okay. Rec Sage. Doesn't do a whole lot here. So I think here I want to give 4... 9. They can't get in unless they have a Smasher. So let's quickly look at this, because we can put them down to 2, turning off their Ancient Tombs. So they only tap for 2 mana together with the Urborg. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They would need another Eldrazi Temple to actually cast the Ulamog next turn. So yeah, let's just go for Green Suns for 3. Get Knight of the Reliquary. Could also get Ramunap and get back Thespian stage. But I think it's just better to get the Knight. We can then give Reclaimer Pro colorless. And then attack in for 3, which they can't block. So now it's really up to what our opponent has in hand. We know one is Ulamog. Just want to watch and Wraith Morn. Thank you very much for the follows. Let me know where you're both from. If you play in Legacy, what you play in Legacy. We could have ported instead, but it would have meant, oh, they have the other temple. Rough. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they just have it. I guess, yeah, maybe it wasn't worth playing the knight, because if we don't need the blocker. Yeah, maybe it was worth actually just porting that turn. That's brutal. That's rough. Yeah, we had the maze as well. I think that was just tunnel vision of seeing the green suns and just thinking, oh, the Urborg lets us tap for mana, let's just, you know, cast as green suns for as much as we can. But in reality, we really didn't need it. So can we get out of this? We can go to 3. Do we need... So we need 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana. 1, 2, 3. I mean, we can try. Does Mother protect your dudes from opponent's effects or all effects of the chosen color? I believe it is just your opponent's effects. So if you have your creature equipped to a Jide and you give it protection from colorless, I don't believe it actually does anything. So we can... I think we're definitely just dead. Sadly. We do have the maze, which is interesting. I guess our out is Karakas. So maybe we maze the Ulamog. Because then if we untap, we can at least get through the Ulamog. Hey, Spewlord, thank you very much for the follow. For those of you who have kindly followed me, let me know in chat where you're from. What do you play in Legacy? If you play Legacy, what do you play in Magic? Let's give it a read. Oh, we don't have one in the deck. Oh, we have one exiled, don't we? I think we have one exiled. Here we go. No, so yeah, it does just gain protection from that color. So if they do have something on, like a sort of Fire and Ice or a Jedi, it does fall off. So you are 100% correct. Rough. If only we didn't go for the... we meant to click on Thespian Stage instead of Maze of Ith. Interesting to see my opponent actually allow me to nearly get out of this. I think we want to kill the Thought Knot here. So we'll let the Ulamog trigger resolve. And we still have 20 cards. So let's go to blocks. I guess we block like this. And then hold back. See, this is where... Oh, no. Block like this. And then untap the Ulamog. Get to draw a card. Knight? Okay. Hey, Calagru. doing okay, but it looks like we're going to die the next turn, unfortunately. We just didn't have enough in us this game. So close, but... Are we dead? I believe we're just dead, right? Because we're at 3. I mean, it's bloody close. Let's tap this. Yeah, we're just dead, unfortunately. So that's pretty rough. So we had the win with the Elvish Reclaimer, but of course we clicked on Maze of Ith instead of Thespian Stage. But to be fair, my opponent still had cards in hand. They might have had something else to play. So we'll definitely see what's in these chests. I believe we have 5, so we have 6 in total. But in the meantime, the deck felt really nice. The Once Upon a Times were really good. I was a big fan of those. Another 5 play points. There we go. Aurelia's Fury. Does anyone remember how popular that card was when it was spoiled? But it didn't really see play in anything. Deathrite. There we go. That's value right there. Yeah, the Once Upon a Time seemed great in this deck. I'm kind of missing on these. We went 3-2, so we lost just then to Eldrazi, which should be a pretty good matchup. And then we lost to Fast Steps, so just a bit faster than us. Another 5 play points. But yeah, overall the deck felt really solid. It felt quite consistent. I'm not too sure if the Once Upon a Times is something you want as a 4 of or a 3 of. Of course, having them as a 4 of means you have like a 39.9% chance of having them in your opening hand. So that's definitely a big upside of it. We do have 75 people in viewing this, so I'm pretty keen to do a giveaway. So while I put together a prize, I'm going to do a giveaway where all you have to say is Doogs in chat, and that'll put you in the giveaway. I'm going to choose a card. I'll send it anywhere in the world. And of course... Actually, I think I have some cards in front of me. That might be okay. What do we have? I did get a fat pack, but it's not that great. You know what? I have... This card's actually pretty cool. I've got a Murderous Rider, which I believe will see play in Standard. So I'll give away this Murderous Rider. If you don't play Standard, hopefully you can maybe trade it away for something that you do want. You could get there. There is no full stop at the end of Doogs, so just saying Doogs will of course put you in the running for this. Which is very cool. So Murderous Rider is a 3-drop zombie knight. It has Adventure as an instant. For 1 black, you can destroy target creature or planeswalker. You lose 2 life. And then you can cast it as a creature, which is a lifelinker, 2/3. And when it dies, you put it on the bottom of its owner's library, which is very cool. So just a thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. But yeah, very cool. Very cool card. The deck was sick. I think it really came down to just my sometimes poor decisions. So against the Turbo Depths deck, there was a stage where we played a Scavenging Ooze instead of holding up Thespian Stage, and our opponent just comboed off the following turn. But of course, if we kept open stage, we might have had a chance to hold them off for a bit. And then against Eldrazi there, it was a little bit unfortunate with the Thespian Stage, but that is just MTGO sometimes. So you know, that's it. And to be fair, I'm still definitely learning with the deck. I've only had a few reps with it, maybe 4 leagues. This deck does need more Questing Beast. I am a massive fan of Questing Beast, especially as an answer to Planeswalkers right now. And with Oko in the format, there's only more reason to play it. So that is it. I'll give you guys another 15 seconds. So of course, if you do want to enter this giveaway, just type Doogs in chat, and this Murderous Rider could be yours. Pretty cool artwork, actually. Big fan of some of these new cards. Actually, speaking of Questing Beasts, I luckily picked one up today for Maverick, so pretty happy for that. Ashin, there he is, coming in with that first. Alright, that's enough suspense. The giveaway is over, and the winner is Lazy1992. So definitely congratulations. Send me a PM with your details and I'll send it off to you tomorrow. Sadly, it isn't a foil questing beast. I want to keep that one, but the Murderous Rider is all yours. What cards did you cut for Once Upon a Time? So we cut down on Crop Rotation to 3, Elvish Reclaimer to 3, and Giver of Runes to 3. And then I also cut a Savannah. Mainly because those are the cards that you're wanting to find with Once Upon a Time. The Giver The Giver I cut down on 3 because I wanted Sylvan Safekeeper in the deck. I wanted a way to actually green suns for protection. I know, I'm sorry, I don't have a foil one, but please enjoy it. Darkham76, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you enjoyed the stream if you watched it. To anyone there with feedback, I am always open to feedback if I can improve my stream. So yeah, Once Upon a Time replaced Elvish Reclaimer, Crop Rotation, 1 Savannah, and then also just a flex slot. I had a Scrib Ranger in here, which I really enjoyed playing. I think it's great with the Reclaimers, the Givers, and the Knights. And also just as a flyer, as a blocker in the air. It's really nice, especially against Delvers and Marit Large. But yeah, I'm not too sure what I'd change with the deck if I took it back into another league. I think I would keep it pretty similar. And really just play reps with it. I think the best way that I can improve with this deck is just to give it more play. And really just start updating it. Suggestion, 100% Adrian, please. Play more Food Chain. I actually saw a banned Food Chain list that looked really fun. I've seen Food Chain popping up a little bit more. And I'd love to see a Food Chain list that also played Oko. I think that could be pretty fun. Or really any deck with Trinket Mage. Just for learning purposes, why not ley lines over other graveyard hate? So ley lines are nice, but because we have the main deck Bog, and we do have the Once Upon a Times, we are going to have a pretty high chance of having either Bog or Faerie Macabre in our opening hand, which is kind of cool. The ley lines can make you sometimes mull to poor hands with Leyline in them. And I'm not too sure if there's any decks that we actually have a bad matchup against that use their graveyard so much. I think if anything, I'm wanting the Surgical Extractions for that little bit of crossover against the deck. Like I might want to bring in against Miracles if we want to hit like Swords to Plowshares. Definitely not a top tier competitive strategy there, but I think there's a lot more decks that die to Surgical and a Faerie Macabre out of nowhere than they die to Leyline. The only other reason I like Leyline is that your opponents can play around it. You know, lands can just get to 3 mana and then cast Corrosion Grip and then start actually using their graveyard as a resource. And Surgical and Faerie Macabre they come out of nowhere. Faerie Macabre, of course, great with Once Upon a Time because it means we actually have sort of 6 copies in the deck, hopefully, if they're in the top 5. But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth trying out Leyline and seeing how that works. I think there's definitely been 5-0 lists with Green White Depths that have played Leyline. So yeah, no reason not to play it. But Minifer, thank you very much for the follow. That is me. I'm gonna find someone else to give you guys off to, but my name is Dukes on Twitch. I have been streaming Legacy Green White Maverick. I stream on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and usually on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. but sometimes at Saturdays. It will be this Saturday, so look forward to that. I will probably just be playing this deck again, just straight back the way it is. So that should be really fun. You can catch all my videos on YouTube at youtube.com/c/Dukes on Twitch. If you want to talk to me, you can come on Twitter. I'm at Dukes on Twitch on Twitter, which sounds kind of confusing, but I'm also in the Discords just as Dukes. So if you have Discord and you want to send me any messages, just send me messages there. Also, I have a website called the Green Sun Zenith. So if you like Legacy Maverick, definitely check that out. It's a pretty good resource for both beginners and experienced players of the deck. Which chord? The Discord. No 7-point Highlander. So thankfully, I have a wedding on Saturday, so I won't be playing 7-point Highlander. But Pleasant Kenobi and I will be putting together some sort of Highlander content, which should be pretty fun. So he's currently away on vacation, but hopefully when he gets back we can sort something out and play some Highlander online, because I'd love to play some sort of Maverick Highlander list. I know there's like a Green White Hate Bears list. No combo, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, let me quickly just see. Everyone's offline. That is rough. That is me. Thank you guys very much. Of course, if you do want to follow me on Twitch, that is great. A huge thank you to those who did. Means a lot, of course. But I'll be back on the weekend. Enjoy your weeks. Stay safe. That's it. See ya.